Right, so Sorcerer's casting a spell at one of us.
Yes. The goes through a very familiar series of gestures that I've done often, and a bolt of fire is now streaking towards me. And he rolled an 18 to hit.
So shield does not help in this case.
Shield will not help me at all. And I rolled damage, and I take 3 points of damage off of that. So we're pretty much matched so far in what we're doing to each other.
Okay.
Now he has stopped running. He is now walking ahead. But the rest of the kobolds are charging. They are now up. Oh, sorry. No, you're up first. Sorry, my bad.
Okay.
You have a higher dexterity modifier than them.
How far are they?
Their turn hasn't come yet, so they are 120 feet away.
And so is the sorcerer.
Yes.
Alright.
Oh, sorry, no. The sorcerer has had his turn. The sorcerer is 90 feet away now. He's walked up. And I know it sounds illogical, but he is now ahead of his troops. I know.
Do I do that, or do I use... Yeah. Okay. I think we're going to need to... no, that's probably not... maybe that's not the best idea. It's a bit early for that. Okay. I am going to point my staff in the direction of the sorcerer and cast magic missile at the kobold.
Alright. Kobold sorcerer?
Yes.
Alright. Fire away.
Oh, that is pathetic. That's 2 1s. 8 points of force damage. That was...
Okay.
Yep.
So 3 bolts of energy shoot from your staff and zip off and collide with the sorcerer, knocking him a little bit. He did not like that, but he is still definitely up.
Okay. Might.
Kobolds
not
are
sure.
next. They are at 120 feet, and they are going to use their entire movement and their dash to head towards us.
60 feet now.
So they are now 60 feet, and they are where they should be, which is ahead of their boss. Alright, we go to the top of the round, and that is me. Seeing your feeble attempt at a magic missile, I'm going to try and outdo it.
Admittedly, it was only 2 below minimum, but still.
I am going to point my wand at the Kobold Sorcerer, because he is the main target here.
Yes.
And I easily outclass you with a 12-point magic missile.
So I think he's taken 24 points of damage so far. It was
24 points of damage, and he is hurting.
He's done nothing, really. Oh, he firebolted you. Mildly singed you.
Yes. That is his turn. The next 3 turns in the initiative order are exactly the same. They're
holding rank.
Arrayed, they are arrayed in front of us, holding an action for waiting for the kobolds to get to us. So that takes care of Albrecht, Mustafa, and the guard.
Yep.
And now we're at the Kobold Sorcerer. He is looking really hurt.
Yep, I imagine he would be. That's a lot of damage he's taking.
Well, he's going to hang in there.
I was going to say, how deep is your thirst for revenge?
Apparently his is really deep. So he moves ahead 30 more feet. And you see, he's close enough now. He's just behind this as dudes.
60 feet. Okay.
Yeah, you just within the dark vision of your cat, which is not here. Never mind.
Doesn't matter.
See him pull something out of his robes.
There is still fire there.
Yeah, it's behind him, so you can't really see what's in his hands. He goes through a series of motions and gestures with an object, and a bolt of fiery energy about this large goes streaking out, and he has 2 targets to choose from now because they both damaged him.
Technically he has 5, but yes, the others haven't done anything.
Yeah, I know. D6. Odds will be me, evens will be you. Odds is me! Oh, joy.
Yet another one of your boss monsters that's trying to kill you.
Yeah. He shoots! Ugh, I don't have to do anything. It just goes wild. He fires a bolt of some fiery energy, not sure what it is, and it goes sailing over my head and dissipates in the air because it was just a terrible roll.
Okay.
He is apparently more hurt than he thought he was, I guess. He seems to be quite winded at this point as well. He is now 60 feet away from us and is stopped. He's not moving any closer. The rest of them... oh, sorry, you're first.
Yeah, so I'm up first.
Yep.
Okay. He's looking pretty badly damaged. Yeah, okay. I am going to... Well, my staff probably hasn't moved from him, so I'm just going to keep it pointed at him, and I'm going to hit him with my Frostbite cantrip. So he needs to make a Constitution saving throw. I'm going to use one of my portents to make his die roll a 5.
Oh, okay. That is a fail for him.
It is only a D6 worth of cold damage, but
Yep.
he's made attack rolls so far as I can tell. Okay. Oh, that's 1 point of cold damage and disadvantage on his next attack roll. That was sad.
All right. Kobolds.
Too much fire in the air at the moment.
The kobolds can move and dash and be in melee with our guys.
Yes,
but
and
they
us.
can't attack. But they can be attacked because we have 3 guys
Holding their actions, yeah.
Alright. Mustafa has the highest initiative, so we'll let him go first.
Okay.
This one for us. Wow. He just hits. And he hits a cobalt for 4 points of damage.
Ouch.
He's not bloodied. He seems to be a little bit tougher than your average cobalt. Next in line is Albert. Misses. Next is the guard. Also misses. And that would be back to the top of the round. So my turn.
Okay.
I see that the kobolds are here now and notice how poorly our troops have done against them. I'm going to step forward and push my hands past between, say, Albert and Mustafa, and I'm going to cast Burning Hands.
Okay.
I'll only be able to get 2 kobolds because they are arrayed in front of them, but I can at least get 2 of them. So that is...
The dex saving throw.
saves. It's a 17. And that is a 1.
Alright, so half damage on the save. And because of our house rule on crit fails on saving throws, double damage on the other one. 3d6.
Oh! That is really good damage. That is 13 points of damage.
So one's ashes takes 26 points of fire damage.
Alright. Because I did not specify which one was which initially, I am going to roll randomly. Odds, the...
The one with stopping.
Odds is the one that was already damaged, and the evens for the non-damaged one. So that was the non-damaged one that got hit with the double damage.
So he's incinerated.
He's no longer with us. 13 divided in half is 6.
Yep.
And you already took 4. The other one is also down. So you're down 2 kobolds.
That was a good burning hands, even with the save.
Yeah. So there are 4 kobolds arrayed in front of our guys. And we are now at Mustafa's turn.
There's 4 kobolds left?
4 kobolds left. Cool. He hits another one. And does 5 points of damage this
That
time.
magic sword's working out for him.
Yeah. And next does Albrecht. Oh, he hits. And that is... another 5 points of damage. And the guard. Guard's not having a good day.
Okay.
The guard misses. But we have 2 bloodied kobolds, 2 dead kobolds, and 2 that are fine.
And the sorcerer.
And now we come to the sorcerer. Alright. I have to roll for this because that's just... Oh, he's staying. He's fully committed to this.
Death or glory. It's going to be death.
Yep, that's what it is. And he's decided to go with a different spell. He is going to
One that does
target
not...
odds still me, evens you.
One that does not require an attack roll, I suspect. You again?
He casts a spell. One I've not heard of before, but let's see how I do on my saving throw.
Okay.
That's +4. What's the spell save DC? Alright. This image appears in front of me of something truly horrifying, but I see it for what it is and shrug it off with a 14 saving throw against his phantasmal force.
It should be more than +4. It should be +6.
Alright!
You're proficient in intelligence saving throws.
I didn't add my proficiency modifier.
Okay.
But I rolled a 10, +6, so 16, and I shrugged it off. That is his go. So, we're at ear now. What are you going to do?
Okay, so...
He's looking rough.
Sorry?
He's looking rough.
Yes, and there are 4 kobolds
4
still.
kobolds in front of us.
How are they arrayed? Like, well, they're basically lined up on the barricades, presumably.
Yeah, we have our guys, and me now, because I moved up. And there are basically a line of them, and they're trying to hack at, well, everybody.
Well, they will be in a moment.
Yeah.
Alright, how many could I fit in the area of effective frost fingers, do you think?
You're at the same disadvantage I was. You can move between, say, Albrecht and the guard, or Mustafa and the guard, and you can get 2.
I think I'd rather give the sorcerer first and then mop up the remaining kobolds after.
Alright. What are you gonna do?
Alright. I'm just gonna hit him with Frostbite again. And I have another portent to give him for saving throw. This one's a 2.
Okay.
That's both my portent.
He didn't make it with a 5, so he's not making it with a 2.
Yeah, that's both of them gone.
Alright.
Higher than a 1, please. It's higher than a 1.
2?
2 points of cold damage. And disadvantage on his next attack roll. I shouldn't have said higher than a 1. I should not have said it.
But it is enough.
Oh.
He slows down, moans a little bit, falls over. Hold on a sec.
That is
They notice.
Oh.
The remaining kobolds have noticed this. And we are going to give a morale check for them. Because it's now their turn.
Yes, it is.
A morale check that they have failed. Quite significantly.
Well, this is going to be a tough choice for them.
They're turning to run away.
Yeah, but do they run and dash, or do they run and disengage?
They're running in panic.
Okay, so they're just dashing.
Everyone who has a weapon out in the front line.
And not me, basically, because I did not.
Has,
Am I in the front line? I don't know. I didn't say I moved up.
no, you didn't move up.
So I'm not
But everyone else has an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
So we'll go with the top of the initiative order, which is me. I will try and smack one with my staff. I should stick to spells. Next
Warcaster.
is Mustafa. Stick to, yeah, Mustafa. He rolls a natural 1. He's not hitting anybody.
Hits the barricade.
Yeah. He's trying to pull his sword out of the wood now. Albrecht. Guard!
Hit something.
Finally the guard hits! This is a spear, so it's a D8, right?
With 2 hands, yes.
You thrust his spear. Oh, that's a good hit.
If it was one of the wounded ones, it might be dead.
I will roll randomly for that. Because I'm not... This is a student. Yeah. No, it was one of the non-hurt ones.
Okay.
So we now have 3 rather badly injured kobolds. And 1
Running towards a field that is on fire.
running away from us, heading back past their boss, and trying to dodge fire, basically. We are still in melee, if you... we're sorry, they're still within range. They're only 60 feet away from us as we go to the top of the round.
There is another thing we have to worry about, too. There were buildings on fire in that direction.
True. But I see 3 really damaged kobolds, and
It's not my turn yet, so...
it's my initiative, so I decide to throw 1 more magic missile, but I am going to aim at 3 targets. I'm going to try and finish off these last ones. So the first one, at the one with 5 hit points lost. He takes another 5, so he is down.
Yep.
Second one with 5 down. He takes another 5. This is an amazing magic missile. And the last one. 3 4s in a row.
Such a waste on this.
What a waste on the kobolds. There
So you decimate them.
are 3 dead kobolds now just floundering on the fields, and we have 1 that's running away still. And let's see if they're going to run after them. They are now in the mood for this. Let's see what Mustafa's going to do. Mustafa has decided he wants to run after them, but he can only just keep up because their move rates, so he can't actually close. And so is the guard. So Mustafa and the guard have now run after these 2 guys. Oh, sorry, the remaining kobold.
Yeah.
And we are now at your initiative.
Okay, well, there were some buildings that were on fire.
Yes. There are... Let's see. There are 4 burning buildings. And... some of the screaming has stopped.
That could be a bad sign.
And there are also a few people who have run out of the burning buildings as well. So there are now still not quite pandemonium anymore, but there's a lot of people who are out of their houses, getting kids together, trying to stay out of whatever, and pretty much watching their property burn.
Okay. I am going to head in their direction because I think the last kobold isn't a problem.
Alright. Okay, I'm going to do a Constitution saving throw for the the two guys and the one kobold, and we'll see if they overtake him before he hits the woods. So this is for the kobold. That's good. Let's see if Mustafa can overtake him. No. Let's see if the guard can overtake him. Oh, that's a tie. Alright, let's do it one more time. Alright, you see as they run off through the fire, Mustafa stops. Seems a bit winded. But the young watch officer, he's just hell-bent on catching up to him. And they are now too far away, but in short order, he comes back and has a bit of a grin on his face, so I think he was successful.
And he didn't run into any of the other kobolds that may have survived that fireball and then ran.
Yes. So, we are to combat now.
Yes. Are these buildings look like they can be saved, or are they just fire? Or they're just tinder at this point?
What would you do to put out the fires?
How close are we to the lake?
Well, they came out of the woods here, so we're roughly in this area. It's not far. You're looking at the closest burning building is probably about 50 to 75 feet from the lake, and the furthest one would be easily 3 or 4 times that. So the fire is spreading.
But not 5 feet.
Not 5 feet, no.
Which is how far I can move water with shape water.
Yeah, so...
The only other spell I have that might have any effect, I don't know, Frostbite might be a little too weak for that. Frost Fingers, on the other hand, might be strong enough. The spell does not mention it puts out fires.
If you want to try this, I get you to roll your usual for it. Roll damage, and we'll see.
I assume I can try and aim the cone up at like the burning roof of the building or whatever.
Yep, I understand what you're trying to do, and
not get anyone else.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Go for a building that doesn't have screaming voice. Actually, there's no one screaming inside any of the buildings anymore. They're all either outside or they've succumbed to smoke and fire.
I'm going to try putting out one of these buildings with Frost Fingers.
Alright, go for roll damage.
I can only do this. I only try this twice.
Yeah. Roll damage, and we'll see if it's enough to, have any effect at all. Roll high.
Yeah, in other words, this is my option. Well, that's one of the dice is high.
What'd you get?
2 and 7, so 9.
9 out of a possible...
18. No, 16.
16. It had an effect. It has slowed it down,
Yeah.
but once the frost evaporates because of the heat, it's just going to continue burning.
I think we might want to get a bucket chain going then.
That's what Mustafa is going to do, but you can tell by the look on his face that he thinks these buildings are a lost cause.
Alright, well, I have one more spell slot. I'm willing to try one more time on the same building.
Alright, go for it.
Because I might be able to put this one out. Oh, that's so much worse. 5 in total.
Your spell slots are spent.
Yep.
You notice it had an effect, but it's not enough.
It does not out, but I might have, but the building might be savable.
Well, Roll a perception check.
Oh. 22.
Alright, you hear in the distance Mustafa ordering and the guard ordering the remaining peasants. They're building a fire break. They're not actually in the process of trying to save these buildings. They want to make sure it doesn't spread into the town. So they are ordering people to get their sickles and various other crop harvesting materials and clear a path so that the fire is not going to spread to the rest of the town. He's basically considering this a write-off.
Okay.
And that's what they're going to do. And I'm going to roll to see if they're successful. Yep. They managed to prevent the fire spreading. Well, basically, these crops are obviously not exactly positioned like that, but they managed to stop the fire about halfway from where we are to town.
Yeah. While they were doing that, I'm going to cast light on my staff, and I'm just going to survey the battlefield and see how many of these kobolds we managed to kill.
Alright, so you're going to take some time, walk around. Besides the 6 that we dealt with, there are 37 dead kobolds.
Wow.
Total. Oh, sorry, total, my bad.
Yeah.
So Leah seemed to manage to get rid of roughly about 13 or 14. And the rest attacked.
And they're all dead?
And they're all dead. That was a devastating fireball.
Well, that's one problem dealt with, at least.
Yep. One more roll to do, sorry.
Okay. Well, I am spent.
I have one more spell slot, but there is nothing
Yeah.
I can do for this. There's literally, I mean, the fire is not out. There's still plenty of fires burning, but it is confined to some villages, like crops and buildings. It's not anywhere near the forest itself, and they're just content to, well, content. There are some very unhappy peasants and farmers, but the fire is contained.
Okay. I will, if there's any small scale fires I can see, I'll try to use prestidigitation to snuff them out. To try and help contain
That
this.
would be actually really useful on the fire break, and probably part of the reason why it was successful. But the buildings themselves,
Yeah.
they're
I'll help where I can.
Yep. One thing you notice is you're making you're basically checking around the perimeter to make sure there's no fires like spreading anywhere. You notice Leah steps up beside you.
Okay.
And she just nods, pats you on the shoulder, and says thank you, and melds back into the forest.
I say, you're welcome to no one, I guess.
She seems to think that you were trying, from her perspective, trying to keep it from spreading to the forest.
Well, in a way, I suppose I am.
Yeah, it was a perception roll on her side, and she actually appreciates it because that's what she cares about.
To think if I was one level higher than I currently am, I could have done something far more effective.
Well, level 2.
Yeah.
What can you do? All right, we're gonna montage this at this point. That's in short order, like probably about a half hour after the Kobolds attack. Our services are no longer needed, so we head back to the village, per se, and we can have a proper night's sleep, because it is still before midnight. So we have an uninterrupted night's sleep.
Yay.
get our spell slots back. We get I heal my 3 hit points.
I was damaged.
It is now dawn of a new day, and we get up, have breakfast. Oh, the inn's open, by the way, again, if you want to have breakfast there.
It doesn't really matter.
Alright, so we eat at my parents' place.
Yep.
And the day is yours. Be it at what it might be. What do you want to do?
Well, the only thing that really... Well, now that there's nothing urgent happening...
Yep.
I would like to try and collect the reeds I would need to make more paper, because I would like to make the last... It makes a bit more... Well, I have access to this these materials.
Alright, so we head out of my parents' place, and you're immediately greeted by Albert. He's walking across from his forge.
Oh, yes.
heading towards...
Oh, yes, the stylus. I completely forgot about that.
And he seems actually in high spirits, considering all the stuff that's happened lately.
Well, it could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a lot worse. But he has in his hands a small box. And he presents it to you and says, "Thank you very much for, well, literally everything, but for helping me on the mining expedition, per se. And anyway, I hope you enjoy it." You open up the box, and this is what you see. You asked for
A stylus, effectively.
a stylus. But that's actually not what you're getting.
Oh.
You are getting... And he's got a big grin on his face this time. He's very happy with what he's created. He's created a device that, instead of having to dip it in and do your... he calls it calligraphy because that's...
What it is, effectively.
Perception. Yeah. You have a lever on the side of this. You put it in the ink. You activate the lever, and it draws up ink into its body. And you can write for quite a considerable time before you need to reload it.
Ah. See, he's invented the ballpoint pen.
Well,
Or fountain pen. Yeah.
And he couldn't be more tickled.
Yeah, and I'm quite pleased with that myself.
He slaps you on the back and probably hurts
And probably
your
floors
shoulder
me.
a little bit. And it says, "I'm so happy that you are happy."
Yeah.
And he heads back because he has work to do. Because there's some fair amount of rebuilding. He needs to make a whole pile of nails and a bunch of other stuff. There's plenty of need for his services at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, you now have... Just write down as a fountain.
I'm going to write down Albrecht's fountain pen, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm adding it to my writing kit.
Yeah. And seeing how it seems to be that kind of day, you see Ivor.
Oh, he's feeling better.
He is out of bed. He is being helped by somebody. He's still fairly weak, but he's recovering. And he's out getting some fresh air, but the reason for it is becoming evident to you now, because he seems to be staring across the river. And he's staring at this area here, where there seems to be a sizable mob currently. And they are not yelling and screaming, but they are definitely having an argument. But you can't really see what's going on because we are, far away.
Oh, I think I know what it's about.
And he is leaning on someone who's giving us some support, and he is definitely staring in that direction. What do you want to do?
I think I'm going to go walk over and talk to him.
All right, head over to Ivor. Yeah, once you start getting a little closer, he notices you. He is a little like I said, he's a little weak still, but he's very happy to see us because, well, wouldn't you be happy to see someone who saved your life?
Yeah.
He shakes both our hands, and you feel in his grasp, it's getting better.
He's recovering.
He's recovering. And he thanks us profusely for that entire fiasco with Bree. Should never have happened. That was just atrocious. And he's glad that it didn't come to what it could have, and hope for the best for her. And he is definitely going to do what he can for the family. And, you know, for the moment, he just looks over at that mess that's happening across the river.
I say, seems like
You'll
the
see a
tides
little
are
smile
turning.
on his face.
I say, well, it would seem like the tides are turning against Gregor.
Yes, and in a day or two, we need to do something about that. But for the moment, we have displaced villagers, crops that are burnt, assessing that needs to be done.
Oh yeah, where are they going to live? Their houses are probably not salvageable.
No, but this is a farming community for the most part. They all know each other, and they're quite willing to make room for them and set stuff up. Definitely there's a few barns that can easily be retrofitted in short order to house people. And again, the next day or two, there's going to be a lot of that sort of assessing, making sure everyone is taken care of, make sure there's enough food. And for the most part, like a couple fields definitely got burned. 4 buildings got destroyed. But it is, like you said earlier, it could have been much, much worse. So he has a kind of a quizzical look on his face for a second, though. He's looking at both of us, and he asks, "Do you mind if I ask you a question?"
All right, okay, I just nod.
That large ball of fire, was that you guys?
No, that was Ren, I say.
He goes like, "Keep that under your hat."
I understand.
I mean, he saved a great many people. But there are some people that wouldn't see it that way. They would think that he actually killed people. And sadly, as he leans into, there were 6 deaths in the village, in buildings that they just didn't get out in time. It is unfortunate. But he understands as well that in these sorts of situations, he calls it collateral damage, but he knows he finds that a distasteful word when even as he's saying it. But like I said, it could have been so much worse. And he thanks us again, looks over across the river at what's going on, shakes his head, and heads back inside.
Okay.
What do you like to do?
Well, the main thing I want to do today is to gather the ingredients I need for the paper for spell transcribing, especially now that I have my new stylus or pen. I also say to you, we are quite possibly outstaying our welcome. I say to you.
Some people seem to like us a lot. Others, probably not so much. I think we are beyond the ken, I don't like using that word, but beyond the understanding of a great many of the locals. You do notice, actually roll a perception check, see if you do notice.
13.
You do notice that there seems to be a bit of a area around us that is void of people. You know, people still, go by, nod, and say hi.
But keep their distance.
There seems to be a bit of a distance between us and everybody else.
Well, not everything that's been happening is going to be seen in a very good light.
Yes, lots of stuff is happening. They don't understand it, and they have nothing they can do about it. A familiar face is coming across the bridge at this point. A rather soot-covered face and a very tired one. But you see Mustafa coming.
Okay.
Yeah, he walks up to us and says, well, that was quite the night. He looks exhausted. He's covered in soot, like he's dealing with fires, dealing with people. He's ready for bed.
Said, yes, you need rest, Watch Commander.
I know I've asked you this already once, but I'm actually I'm actually begging you, please. Can you go and find what happened to my man? I know it's dangerous, and I know it's not within. I can't. I feel bad even asking you, but I'm spent. I just can't do it. He rolls an 18 on his persuasion check.
Which doesn't mean anything really to a player character, so...
I know.
I know.
I just want... It is... what that 18 says to you, it is a very heartfelt plea because he can't. And he realizes by the time he's slept and got his strength back and managed to get down there, it most likely will be too late. It may already be too late.
It may already be too late.
But you are active player.
Yeah.
You can decide how you want to deal with this.
I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder and I say, I'm afraid, I stand by my recommendation. I recommend no one, including you, goes down there. You're going to be needed up here to save a lot more lives. I said, I'm afraid that this is one request I cannot grant. It's the truth, I'm afraid.
He looks thoroughly crestfallen.
But I'm afraid it's...
He understands.
It is for the best.
We have done so much that he was just hoping for one more miracle, I think. That really did take the wind out of his sails, and he says, I understand, and he heads off.
I just before he goes, it says, if there was more than just the slim chance there is, I would go down. I would grant your request, but there are going to be other battles to fight, I'm afraid.
That seems to be the way things have been going, yes. And he heads home. He's toasted.
He needs rest.
Yeah, between the battle, which wasn't really that much of a battle, but fighting the fire and getting
that was the real fight.
He was up all night, so...
I say to you, unfortunate, but...
Personally, I'm a little curious, but I understand how dangerous that is.
Yes.
There are a lot of traps down there.
There is. And by this point, almost certainly dead.
Most likely.
Mm-hmm.
But
it is just
I suspect, though, once he has got his strength back, he will not leave it alone. I think he will go down.
That is his choice.
He is a man of honor, and he takes his job seriously. And if nothing else, he can't, I don't think, in his way he looks at the world, face this man's family without doing everything he can. So, he will.
Right.
Alright?
Yep.
What you gonna do?
Well, now back to what I said is the main thing we definitely do want to do. is gather the ingredients I need for transcribing spells, so I need more parchment, which means more reeds.
The only thing I would suggest is we stick to the west side of the cauldron.
That is good, because I definitely also want to have a chat with Ren.
Alright, so I suggest we... There, I'll switch over. I suggest we head along here and gather reeds along the shore and then head into to see Ren.
Okay. So what sort of...
So, I want you to roll... well, basically, it's going to be an investigation check to see if you can find what you need. And I'll base how high you roll on how much you acquire.
Okay. I do have some portents I would like to use here, because...
Alright.
Just Alright. I'm going to use one of them, which was an 11, plus my plus 4 intelligence for my intelligence modifier for 15.
Okay. You actually did quite well. You managed to gather
Enough. I just hope enough for two, basically enough for 2 uses, basically, because that's how much ink I have.
Well, you have gathered enough for 4.
4. Okay.
So that needs to be dried, of course.
Yeah.
And then gone through the regular procedures for turning it into paper. But that'll be a separate roll later. At the moment, we have traversed the distance between here and Ren's place. And as always, one second, might as well, we come to our familiar mentor's house. And the raven is sitting where it always does, in the peak of the house, just keeping an eye out.
Okay.
Cog once he sees us.
I'm going to wave, and I'm going to go in.
Alright. You take your bundles, put them in the usual drying spot outside on the racks, and you head in, and it's a little bit different in here than usual. Usually when you come in when we come in, I should say, to see Ren, the place is fairly well lit, and he's usually tinkering with something or working, but there are no candles, there's no lanterns. He seems to be sitting in a rocking chair by a small fire in his fireplace. And he's sitting there kind of slowly rocking back and forth.
Right, I'm going to walk up and I'm going to say in a pleasant manner, says, "It would seem that your aim is a little rusty."
He looks up when you say that. As we go through this world, he says, there are things that we do well, and sometimes we do things badly, and we sometimes need the help of others. I owed a favor, and there's very strict guidelines on that favor, and it got called in yesterday. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yesterday. He seems a little tired. But actually, Mari seems a little distracted. Leah called in her favor, and my restrictions on that were no trees were to be damaged, no forest was to be set on fire. So I had a short window of opportunity to deal with as many kobolds as I could without incinerating the 2 of you, which I care about, and setting the fire on, the forest on fire, which I was obligated to not do. So, unfortunately, since I have heard, a few people have not made it.
I was to say, but far more did than would have without your help.
He says, I understand. It is unfortunately a weight I will have to carry myself. I had to, I did, and I will live with the consequences. He gets up. He's an old man.
Yes.
He's an old gnome. He's not anywhere near the full length of his lifespan, but he seems a little worn today. He heads over to a cupboard, and he says, in a kind of quiet voice, you can hear quite, you don't have to roll a perception check or anything. He says, I've also come to another decision, and I have made my choices, and I'm quite content to live my life here. And as he's saying these things, he's opening up the cupboard, and he's rummaging in it a little bit. He pulls out a couple of items, knocks them because there seems to be a fair amount of dust built up on them. He says, I knew in my heart that this day was going to come. I was in denial, I suspect, for a while. But I've seen through my familiar's eyes over the last few weeks, my two apprentices, who I'm quite proud of, by the way, have blossomed and have managed to deal with some very serious threats. Now, I know that you're going to continue to grow and leave, and at this point he's holding two what look like satchels, and he says to us, as he holds one out to each of us, consider this not so much like a going away present, but mementos to remember me by and remember what I've taught you. And it says, these are bags of holding. Bags of holding that I had when I was out in the world. They're not very prestigious magic items, but from my perspective, there can't be a more important one for anyone who wants to go in the world and explore, because carrying a massive backpack, especially for someone my size, even just for food, it is wearing and tiring. This will take care of that. And don't be in a rush to leave or anything. This is not me kicking you out. This is just me saying I know the day is going to come, and at least this way you'll be prepared.
Alright.
And with that, he says, I've been up all night. I've been thinking about things. I'm going to go to bed.
Okay.
And
I accept his gift and I say, good night, Father.
and he heads off. Alright, you now have your first permanent magic item.
Bag of holding.
A bag of holding.
The best one to start with, definitely.
It is essential.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
Hold on a sec before you get off on a tangent. That's driven home even more when you look at your little alcove where your desk is and your collection of journals and books and research materials and writing paraphernalia and all that stuff. Just trying to imagine shoving that stuff into a backpack and carrying it around with you is enough to really appreciate a bag of holding.
Yeah.
So, I suspect what we're going to do is try out our bags of holding, pack our stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to transfer everything basically to that.
Alright. Just for note-keeping perspective, consider that you now have 25 pounds of your bag of holdings weight carrying capacity.
It's 500 pounds, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, 500 pounds is what it can hold. 25 pounds now is occupied. And that's just with your like journals and stuff, and paraphernalia.
Okay.
And through the wonders of magic, it still only weighs 5
I think
pounds.
it's 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is probably
So
how
there
much
you
a
go.
satchel weighs on, so...
Okay. So there you go. Have a satchel slung over your shoulder and you feel like you can take on the world.
So how long is it going to take those...
Roughly a day.
Okay.
There's roughly a day for you to let them dry and then go through a procedure of getting them prepared for making them into hopefully high quality parchment.
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, I am going to also make a healing potion because we went through a few of them.
We did. 3, I believe.
I am going to make a alchemist check to see if I can put together one. Yeah, roll another natural 20 and I'll get 2. So I'm going to do that now.
Okay.
No natural 20, but it was definitely a success because the accumulation is over 20. And now I have
An extra one.
an extra healing potion. So I'm back up to 3. Now I would like you to roll a skill check to see if, roll 4 skill checks, please, and see the quality of the paper you produce.
All right. Hang on. Because I'm definitely going to be using my last portent for one of these.
All right.
So the number was 14, so this is an Arcana check. So it's a total of 20 for the first one.
Yeah, you're good. Now roll 3 more, please.
Okay. Well, one's a natural 1.
All right, so you have some toilet
So
paper.
that one's useless. The next one is also a 14, so it does another 20.
Yep. And your last check
It was a total of 12, so...
it's paper.
But it's not good enough.
Not good.
Well, I got 2. That's what I wanted. That's how much ink I have left. So,
And you got some stuff to keep yourself clean when you next go to the outhouse. Because that's pretty much all it's good for.
well, I'm perfectly happy with that.
Alright. So you have enough ink and enough paper
For 2 first level
transcribe
spells.
2 first level spells. Or a second level spell.
Check.
Is there anything you want to do immediately with that?
No, I'm going to probably hang on to them. You?
No, that's fine. There is one scroll that we have that I would like to transcribe at some point, but for the moment is not pressing. We'll wait and see. I mean, there might be something more important to come up. Because I still have that disguised self scroll, and I suspect in the great world it will come important, but at the moment, not so much.
All right.
All right.
Well, if we are going to... we might want to pick up some supplies, if nothing else. I don't know how quickly we'll be leaving, but...
The length of time it takes to make the potion,
the parchment.
get the 2 pieces of paper, is basically time for another long rest, even though, well, it's just nighttime, so... roll 2 more portents, and we have a new morning, and at the point we can head back to town.
Yep.
And Ren is there tending his gardens, and he nods his head to us. He has that look of understanding on his face. He knows. Knows time is coming, but he's content. He knows these things have to happen.
Yeah.
All right, so we head back to town. It is not an insubstantial walk. Nothing untoward happens because pretty much everything, any kind of threat has been dealt with here.
Yep, for the moment.
We make it to town mid-morning, and I'm going to roll 1 check here. Interesting. We get to town, and there's actually a couple people in the square. One of them is Ivor.
Ah.
He's talking to a couple people. One of them is a watch member. And what do you do? They seem to be in a bit of a discussion.
All right, I'm gonna go see over and see what. Walk over and see what's going on.
As soon as he sees us, he's walking now without aid. He's walking by himself.
Yeah.
He seems almost back to his full self. So, I'm so glad to see you. Mustafa and one of the guards decided to go and look for the Lost Watch member,
Oh.
and they have not come back. He has that look in his face. And he says, I know you've done so much, but can you please? I mean, we need...
I nod. The most of my nod, it comes like, is like... And I nod in recognition of that, and I'm going to turn and head in the direction of the watchtower. I'm just going to head straight there.
Alright.
I'm going to just say,
you knew it was
as I go. Grief. There's a hook, and then there is literally
a hook, line, and sinker. Yeah, you've got the whole bloody thing in your throat now.
I told him not to go. I told him.
He just can't. He can't not do it. And there's no real point in going back this way, but I shall. Because this is where we're heading.
Alright.
We get down to where the hole in the floor is, and there's a rope dangling down, and it's anchored.
I sigh and then I climb down.
Alright.
This guy better be alive. I say aloud. I know I don't know which one I'm referring to.
Alright. The body that was skewered and attached to the wall is no longer there.
Okay.
But everything else looks the same. How do you want to proceed?
I'm going to cast Light on my staff.
Alright.
And I'm going to try and proceed cautiously through this to try... I'm going to try and proceed cautiously to try not to trip all these traps again.
Alright. There are 10 floors between here and where we ran into the statues. I would like you to roll one perception check, please. No advantage, no nothing, just a perception check.
18.
It is almost 200 feet away, but you're sure you hear the sound of a voice.
Okay. Well, there's only one way down, really. Sorry.
Well, there are several ways down. Two that won't involve your immediate demise. And
so we could, in theory, jump off here and feather fall down. Right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You know what? Somehow it just... I recommend we actually do that.
Roll an intelligence check, please.
10.
Right.
I recommend we do that.
Okay. Hold on a sec. Yep.
We're doing that. What?
We're doing that.
Alright.
So, I take it we unsummon our familiars so that we don't have
mine,
to
yes.
worry about
Yours
that.
doesn't have to.
That doesn't have to, but that's fine. We jump.
And I cast Featherfall on us.
We cast Featherfall, so mark off the spell slot, and we drift down. So, as we pass by the floors,
Oh, I think I just realized what the intelligence check was for.
roll a perception check with disadvantage, please.
Oh, well, thank you for wasting a natural 20.
Excellent.
7.
Never mind. We are drifting down nice and slowly and comfortably. It occurs to you, as we are drifting down, that this well continues past the floor where the statues are. The second we become even.
Yeah, I had a feeling this was it.
The second we become even with that floor, you feel your Featherfall spell begin to fade.
All right, but we do move past it. Does it? Does it fade enough that it just ends?
I'm afraid not. The Featherfall spell fades out of existence, and we are now plummeting.
At which point we can cast it again.
Yes. We cast Featherfall again.
Okay. Which one of us is casting Featherfall again?
I'll do it this time. That's fine. We are continuing to fall.
No longer a terminal velocity, though.
No. We do come to a gentle repose at the bottom of the second stage of this. Alright. The bottom of this is filled with a lot of rubble. You do notice there's some other structures down here, but you can just sort of see the top of them. You can't really see what they are. There seems to be something here, but it's buried. You have a nice spiral staircase heading up.
So this is just a point of order. My light cantrip went away as well, didn't it? Well, I'll recast light on my staff.
Yep.
I'm going to search the area, looking for bodies and hopefully Mustafa.
Roll a perception check, please.
It's another 7.
Even with a 7, as we were falling, you heard a scream.
Oh joy! So so someone's above us.
Yes.
I'm still going to look around as I try to find the staircase up, basically.
Staircase is easy to find. It is a big structure, and you can head up.
Okay. Do I see any bodies down here, though?
No.
Okay.
No bodies down here.
Okay. Up the staircase we go. Carefully looking for traps. I'll re-summon Alice to assist.
Alright. We do so. We head up. I would like you to roll 2 perception checks with advantage, please.
Okay, the first one is a 22.
Alright. And the second?
Second's a 21.
Alright, we are actually getting really good at this. As we head up, we do notice a number of traps. A number of them actually have been sprung. One thing we do notice on the way up is a prone figure in guard's outfit, laying on one of the, you know how it goes down and a bit of a landing and it turns? On one of those landings, there's a human in guard's outfit in kind of like a fetal position, just curled up.
Okay,
there.
I'm going to walk up. Who is this?
Yep. This is the missing guard. There's some blood. He is wounded.
So this is not Mustafa.
No,
is he alive?
This is one of the original missing guards. Well, I'm the one with medicine, so I guess I should do the med check. Yes, he is alive, unconscious. He has lost a fair amount of blood. I can stabilize his wounds, but we'd have to carry him.
Or you could give him a healing potion.
Or we can give him a healing potion. Well, I'm going to do a med check first, because if I roll really, really well, he's going to get up. I give him a healing potion.
Okay, you can... Alright, so there goes the potion you made.
No, I'm gonna get one of the ones I found. I like mine.
Okay.
Yeah, so I give him a healing potion. He comes to. Let's roll. See how good this healing potion is. I know I liked mine better. 2 ones. So he has 4 hit points. Which is fine.
Except for the fact that we're in an area full of traps.
Yes. But fortunately for him, you're 21 and you're 22 on perception checks. Mean we can bypass all the traps.
Okay.
You notice most of them have been tripped. Not by him, but just by falling rubble, age, and other stuff. There's only a couple that were active, and we easily spotted them and got over them.
Okay.
So we come up to the floor. You know what? The stairs goes up, and it ends. The stairs go right up into the ceiling or the floor of the room above.
Is there a way into that room?
You can do an investigation check if you like. With advantage, because I'll help you.
17.
You notice in the set into the wall, there is a device, switch, a bit of a lever, and activating it, the roof that we perceived where the stairs went into recedes back into the wall, and now it's just a set of stairs that heads up into that room and continues all the way up to the top.
Okay.
At which point, your light spell fades out of existence.
Yep.
You do see light, though.
From one of those staff-bearing statues, probably.
Well, at the moment, our head is below the floor of that room, so we can't see. You do notice not just one light source. You notice 2 light sources.
There were 2 of them in there.
Roll a perception check.
12.
One is a nice steady white glow that you recognize from the orbs, and the other is a flickering light
Torch,
source
okay.
that you suspect is a torch.
Alright, let's
And you hear,
proceed with caution.
at this time, a voice that you recognize as Mustafa's, and it says, "Holy crap! It's glowing again!" And then you hear some rushing feet.
Okay. Do I hear the discharge of energy?
No.
Alright. I'm going to step up the staircase. Cautiously.
Alright, so you stick your head above, and you see right in front of you in that corner, which is the southwest corner, the statue that you were expecting, and there is the sphere on top of the staff, glowing, and as soon as your head comes up, that charge dissipates in a ball, and that ball is heading for your head. I would like a dexterity saving throw, please.
Do I have advantage because it's just my head sticking up? No? Do you remember when I rolled the last time that one of these things shot at me?
Nope.
Well, I can tell you it's a 3. I think it was a 3 last time. It's a 3 again.
Alright! I think you just love the pain, personally. You take 6 points of radiant damage. And you hear, because it's hard to take that much in the way of damage without making some noise. And I said, "Who's there?" And you recognize that as Mustafa's voice.
You're going to say through the pain, "Yes!"
Alright. As you cautiously look back into the room, now that the glow is gone, you see Mustafa just sticking his head around the corner. He has a torch in his hand. And he says, well, at least you're coming to my rescue. And then he spots the other guard. And you see a look of relief on his face.
I said there's supposed to be one more.
What's that?
Didn't he come down here with somebody?
Yes, he beckons you to come in.
I'm going to come in. I'm going to just whack the statue with my staff briefly as I go by in frustration. It's like, good. Just like,
roll a 20-sided?
That's a total of 20.
You hit it.
I use... wow. And I do 6 points of damage because I rolled a 7 minus 1.
You hear the shattering of glass as that orb breaks.
Oh, okay.
You head into the room after your little temper tantrum, and you see laying on a very old and decrepit bed the other guard. He's alive. He has a wound in his shoulder that's been bound. And by the light of the torch, you see a fair number of skeletons in this room.
We saw those last time.
Bones on the floor as well. You can roll a nature check if you want to see and discern what they are.
Oh, sure, why not? 15.
With that roll, you notice that they're all humans. Not humanoids, but humanoid. Yeah, you can't really tell. I mean, some are shorter, some are taller, but there aren't any that are gnomes. Probably not any that are even halflings, but the rest of them are whatever races. It's difficult to tell. There aren't any animals or what you consider like monsters. No, like 10-footers or ogres, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And they all have been dead a very long time.
Yep. So, does this guard look like he's up to moving?
Mustafa says they managed to get down here. They tripped a couple of traps, and that's how he got hurt. Fortunately, he says a lot of them seem to have been already activated.
I don't actually laugh, but I think to myself, yes, I imagine they have been.
Yep. So it wasn't too hard to get down here. But for some strange reason, those orbs just started glowing, and you can see that he's actually got what looks like radiant damage on his shoulder as well. He got blasted by something. Ever since that, we've just been staying in this room, hoping that someone would come down and help us out.
Yes, these are the magic traps I mentioned.
Yes. He's quite well aware of that now. Alright. What do you want to do?
Well, the main question is, can this injured guard walk or get out of here? Does he need...
The 5 of us, if we take our time, can mount the stairs and have a reasonably good chance of making it without any further altercations, because you pretty much figure most of the traps have either been identified or tripped by this point.
I would like to lead us all out of here.
Alright, roll 1 perception check with advantage, please.
Wait a second. I kid you not. A pair of 10s. So, perception, you said? 13.
Not high enough. Roll a dexterity saving throw, please, and I'll do the same because I'm pretty sure I'm helping you. Honestly.
15. Pretty good.
Alright. You managed to avoid the trap that you just sprung. But I, on the other hand, was not quick enough to get out of the way of the trap you just sprung. So I am going to take some damage.
I have no sympathy. You brought this on yourself.
I take 7 points of damage. Ow!
Okay, maybe a little sympathy.
As a very sharp spear-like thing shoots out of the wall and hits me.
Ah, they do have those.
They do have those. The rest of the ascent is uneventful. And we're pretty sure now, between the 2 traps that we've marked and all the ones that have been tripped, that this is actually a fairly reasonably safe place to go.
Oh, good!
Alright. We get the wounded guy up. Sorry, the 2 wounded guys up.
5 wounded at this point.
Are you wounded as well? All 5 of us are wounded. And we climb up. And believe it or not, Mustafa gives us a great big hug.
Ow! Probably wince in pain, but whatever. Or you definitely do. You got speared.
Yeah,
I got radiant damage. That's probably less painful.
That was in the head.
So I have a sunburn.
There you go. And that gets everyone back, and he immediately orders this whole seal.
Good! He's finally listening to my request.
And just as a little bit of a cleanup on some peripheral stuff, we'll montage
I assume we're going
this.
to pick up the supplies we think we're going to need.
Pick up some supplies, have a meal, and check up on Ivor, make sure he seems to have something in the works, but it's not going to be until tomorrow. Any other supplies you want to pick up, that's fine. You have the money to buy whatever you like. Just make sure you mark off whatever provisions you want, how many you want, water skins, any other equipment you want to replace.
Oh yes, I do have a water skin, which I'm definitely going to fill. But we estimate the estimation we have to this village that we told Bree about, and the one that we were thinking of heading out for ourselves, possibly. That was 2 weeks, was it? Travel, possibly?
It's hard to tell because I did it by owl flight, but yeah, without, probably 2 weeks. 3 on the outside if we get sidetracked. So if you want to mark off 3 weeks of provisions, that's perfectly fine. Also include in that, you can't just have 1 water skin. It's not going to be enough water to see you through. So you might want to pick up a few more of those. I will do the same. And then we consider ourselves provisioned. Is there any equipment that you want?
No, I have.
You want to...
I have the rope. I have bedrolls.
Can you roll a dexterity check to see if you can remember how to untie that really good knot that you made?
I already have that!
Nope. It was the one that we went down with Mustafa. They just left it there.
16.
You can cut it if you want. It'd be shorter.
Where's the next? I'm just gonna buy a new rope. Leave it there.
Alright. A new rope is easy. Anything else?
Alright, so we have the extra food. So it's gonna be 21 days worth of food.
Yep.
Okay,
Good thing we got bags of holding.
50 feet of hemp and rope. Swamp. Okay.
I know we're wizards and we can do lots of stuff, but do you want to get any... You already have flint and tinder. You don't have an oil lamp. Do you want one? Do you want oil? Any of that sort of stuff?
No, I'm fine. I also have prestidigitation, so...
There's one thing I think I want to check in, and that is see if I can get another of the charcoal and incense and herbs to replace the one we used for Find Familiar.
Yep. Okay,
I'm gonna do a check to see if that's available. No problem. So I'm gonna mark that off.
So there is some?
Yep. I'm going to replace the one I used, well, that you used. And so that brings me back up to 2, I think. Hold on a second, where did I write that down?
I think we got 3 originally.
I can't see where it's written. I'll just add it as +1.
Okay. I'll probably buy the set as well if I can.
No, they only had enough for 1. That was the check I made.
Okay. So how much is that
We
cost?
replaced the one we the usual 10 gold pieces.
Altogether? For all the supplies?
Oh, sorry. No, 10 gold pieces is for the incense and herbs and charcoal stuff for the 5 milli spell. 3 weeks worth of food.
I actually had 8 days left of provisions.
Alright. Altogether, we'll just call it, say 5 gold for all our foods.
Okay.
That sounds about right. And that is basically everything that we need as far as record keeping goes. I think that's pretty much it.
Yep.
And we actually got to go down into and finish that. Much against
Despite my many attempts otherwise.
Yeah, that's the problem when you form alliances with people. Sometimes they just do things that you have to do anyway.
So, do I take it that is where we are ending for tonight?
That's all I have arranged. We have our bags of holding, we have our supplies, and we are approaching nightfall, so we can have a long rest again, and that is it.
Alright, well then. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this session.
I hope you enjoyed me abusing us. And yeah, definitely thank you for watching.
Please remember to like and subscribe. And please join us again here next time, which will most likely be the final episode up here before our departure. From the plateau.
Look forward to that. Yep.
Thank you for watching, everyone.
All right, evening all.
Bye.
Thanks for coming.